Oh yes, boys, yes, we are fucking back again, and we are doing another album reaction today. Too fucking easy, let's just jump into it. Haken, fucking bacon, Vector, whatever, too easy, let's just jump into it, boys. I'm keen as fuck, I've heard this is sick. But yeah, if you're new to these album reviews, what I do is I basically sample in the music cohesively, mostly just key highlights, and by the end I've got a full review written out, filled with technical analysis and fucking a score, and all sorts of thoughts and shit, and yeah, it's just a bucket of fun. But yeah, a couple side notes with this album reaction in particular. I might not be wearing headphones, at least all the way through, and the door might be open at certain stages, just because it's so fucking hot. And I'm drinking tea as well, man, so like, I'm basically a fucking human kettle at the moment. And I am curious as to how the microphone will pick up the audio, but let's just jump into it, boys. Let's just see how we go. Well, first I have to fucking turn on the speakers, of course. Fucking get in frame! Cool.
Calling Dr. Rex to sell block 2. An unusual case, this one deluded, psychotic, then catatonic.
The bass is like the best part of this, I reckon, man. But the beat, like, even these textures, it's all sort of squirrely in the back, I love them.
Make sure his arms go down.
This is honestly pretty fascinating so far. I don't know what to make of it, man. Jesus, even these fills, man. Let you go louder. That was such a sick song. I mean, the bass was so crunchy, it was viscous, the beat almost funky, instrumental palette diverse, transitioning was pretty cool. Melodically, I couldn't wrap my head around it, but yeah. I love this little bit here, man, this little breakdown here. Again, man, with those rhythm guitars, just come on, man, like the bass and the rhythm guitars are just so good. And here again, you can hear all of the extra embellishments with the synthesizers and maybe even keys. They really do give this a more lush, layered, detailed experience.
Fleeting sense of self-worth.
Yeah, here we go, boys. Nice, man. See, some of the texturing here, man. Also, the album feels really lush, it feels warm, it feels compositionally tight. This melody is sweet. Feels like the kind of album that would draw on you as well. And this shit can't go loud enough, I swear to God. Nice, man. This instrumental breakdown's sick. Shit, man, that drumming though, like, I loved everything about that track instrumentally, I reckon. Loved the genty groove through the middle. Loved even just the little interlude with the synths. And the ending there with the drum fills, just a spastic instrumental breakdown. Made it a really good song, man. Sick. Fucking sick, man. His vocals here sound good as well. Nice, man. That was a sick transition. And tell you what, man, like, I love the fucking vocals here as well. The melody is just... This groove, it's so off-kilter, but it's so sexy, man. It's not quite like Tool, but it's definitely got something about it. What a fucking transition, man. Nah, so detailed, man. The drumming there. Just the grooves themselves are just so sick as well. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Boys. Woo! Come on, bro. Nice. Fucking perfect song, boys. What can I say, man? I mean, just the transitioning, the guitars, the drumming especially, again, man, like, that was some Danny Carey shit with the slower tempo right in the middle there. Just the interludes, just the two halves of the song fucking genty grooves, man. And even the fucking vocals, you know, they were so sick as well. The vocals were so good. Yeah. This is sick again, man. Feels like they're playing a video game at the same time. There you go, man. Just chucking on fucking arcade games, man. This almost feels like Rush, in fact. Just this little bit here. This feels a lot like Dream Theater as well, eh? This is ridiculous, man. Ah, transition. Now this feels like Devin Townsend. My toaster and my fucking mugs, they're just popping off with the bass on the subwoofer, man. That's how good this track is. That's how I know it's good, man. Yeah, this album's just sick so far, man. 2 more songs to go as well, just sick. And now we've even got a bloody saxophone, mate. Love this sultry, smooth tempo. You know, the drumming has just been so perfect and on point with every song so far. Okay, boys, guess what happened? My camera overheated. Like, it didn't even run out of battery, man. It just overheated. That's how fucking hot my room is, man. I'm basically in the middle of a sun. But anyway, let's just keep on going then. Host, 1 minute and 32 seconds in. Wow! Flute, boys! We've got a fucking flute up in this bitch! Is it even a flute? It kind of sounds like a modulated synth line, to be honest. This is smooth. I really like his vocal delivery here as well. It suits the instrumental palette quite a lot. And he doesn't go into that higher register where he starts sounding like an accordion. Nah, that was a sick crescendo. You gotta give it to these guys, like, they're just so fucking accomplished, man. And even like a little vocal sample here, again, just showcasing the band's mastery over their craft, compositionally. They understand dynamics so well at this point. Oh man. Whoa, that's like Muse, man. This is why Muse should have stayed heavy. Oh, sick. Yeah, boys, guess what? That's the entire fucking album. Too easy, boys. Too fucking easy. Wow. Fuck off, Link Ray. We'll deal with you later, mate. To start off with, Clear is definitely a nice little quaint composition and an appropriate opener to begin the album with this impenetrable hazy swash of synth lines and MIDI embellishments, you know, just all chillin' basically. And the track following, The Good Doctor, sets up the mood with this thick, viscous bass and funky tempos and transitioning, as well as this intangible cycling of melodies with the vocals. Not to mention, the instrumental palette is immediately diverse with this album, with so many different textures provided by the keys and synthesizers, giving this a warm and layered backboarding to build songs off of. And I do feel like these synth lines and keys and MIDI embellishments and how they fucking interact with the djenty, bloody grooves is one of the best variables on the album, not only because of the blanket of lushness, but just also how it gives space in the fucking mix to breathe. You know, how there's just room to breathe compositionally. Take a track like Puzzle Box, the track after The Good Doctor, which is heavily invested in those djenty prog interactions I mentioned before, but if it were that alone, it would be a little exhausting by the end of the song, especially with the somewhat one-dimensional reedy vocal delivery in places. Which is why through the middle of this song there is that lull, that synth interlude, just giving the back end of this song just so much more weight and purpose. And it's not just MIDI embellishments. I mean, there is a moment with brass featured on the song Host, the closer. But tell you what, I love the smooth, sultry tempo and bass work undercutting, providing yet another fucking thick foundation. And the way that this song Host itself just builds with this gorgeous crescendo to finish with these crash cymbal hits and atmospheric vocal backdrop just showcases the band's mastery over their craft and own songwriting at this point of their careers. One thing I will say about Haken's music, mind you, and this is perhaps due in part to the vocal inflection of the lead singer, is that I feel like there's this sort of clownish, maybe medieval quality heavily imbued in the music, because the vocal delivery can be a little thin, a little reedy, almost like an accordion, especially when paired with some of the thicker, djenty grooves. Yet at some other times, it feels wholly appropriate, like throughout the song Veil. And thank God that the vocal delivery does on this song, because it is a fucking 12-minute centerpiece on the album, which features some of their strongest bloody songwriting on the album. I mean, some of the transitioning on this song is fucking ridiculous. So many of the grooves themselves are sexy, thick, and off-kilter, not to mention incredibly detailed. And I mentioned before on The Good Doctor how compositionally they built that song in two halves with a threadbare interlude intersecting. And they did the exact same here, except the interlude here is one of the best parts of the song, with the sexy, smooth, slow tempo and Daddy Carey-esque drums all the way through, and the way it builds into the last passage as well. It's just, nah, mate, it's fucking perfect, boys. Fucking perfect. But yeah, again with the vocal delivery, I do feel like how much I personally enjoy it depends mostly on the melodies themselves, because I don't find it melodically that interesting, for example, when he decides to sustain a single note over a couple bars length or what have you, especially in his higher range. Because again, it falls into this thin accordion inflection which does not fit the fucking melodic leads or the rhythm section all that much at all, boys. I do love the heavier cut following this 12-minute epic. Kneel by Mouth, man. It's just such a sick song. So heavy as well. And I do feel like the Rush, Dream Theater, and Tool influence is especially tangible in some moments here with the inspired bass work and interlocking drum work, especially given it's also just an instrumental. But in general, I just love the fact that most of the instrumentals here fall into these time signatures and these djenty, groovy guitar leads, because one thing I feel that is lacking with this band at times is weight, and that is definitely provided here on a track like Kneel by Mouth. And yeah, that brings me to the point of balance and technicality, grit and dynamics, all of which are worth complimenting on this album, most especially with the technicality of the bass and the drum work. I will say, however, I feel like the lack of rawness in the production, as well as the bloody guitars and the vocals most especially, it's got the saccharine quality which I do feel is lacking in grit and bite at times. This might be more of a personal gripe given just how crisp and clear each individual element sounds themselves, but I really do feel that this band does lack the dirtiness at times that can only come from the boiz. The clearness just feels a little too artificial, you know, a little overbearing at times. And I know it's not necessarily the place in the subgenre to go looking for the more jagged, heavier, bloody inflections of metal, but there is something to be said about the authenticity which can be provided by an imperfect, distorted, scratchy fucking guitar lead at least somewhere, right? So on the whole, my thoughts on this record are pretty much overwhelmingly positive, with just a few personal gripes regarding the occasional lack of dynamics in the vocals and the occasional abruptness in the transitioning, and also the clear production style just being a bit too artificial. But honestly, I went into this record fairly skeptical because the songs I have heard by Haken or Haken or Bacon, whatever the fuck, already made me doubt in particular the weight, the bite, and the feel of the instrumentals, and most especially the vocals. But this won me over, man, especially with the detail, the compositional structure, the dynamics, the technicality, and the bloke's vocals. They really did impress me on the whole as well, especially on the closer, A Soul Divides. Just a sick closer, just fucking perfect crescendo again, perfect songwriting, fucking yes. So yeah, boys, just in closing, love the drum work, love the bass work most especially. Guitar leads could be a bit heavier, a bit thicker. It's all too easy, man. This is still sick as fuck. 4.2 from me. So yeah, boys, that's actually the entire review, and my fucking camera didn't run out of battery. So yeah, boys, but before it does, I'll just finish this all up. If you want to support me, I've got a book. Oh no, it's running! It's overheating! Oh, fuck! Oh, I've had enough of this camera. I just ran out of battery just as I was fucking finishing up. But too easy. Just have a good one, boys. I appreciate the likes a lot. It really does help. Spend a lot of time on these, and it's that simple. Just have a good one. And fucking yeah, too easy. Wow! Wow!